Hello everyone, welcome to Pabbly. So in this video we are going to learn how to automate thank you emails for website form leads with SendGrid. Now let's say I use Lendingy as my website form for receiving new leads and I want to send emails through SendGrid. So here my objective is as soon as I receive a new form submission over the Lendingy, I am going to send emails through SendGrid. So for integrating these both applications, I am going to use a software that is Pabbly Connect. So if you also want to build this automation, then let me take you towards my screen. Welcome to my screen. So in this video, I am going to show you how you can send thank you emails using SendGrids for the website form leads. So for the website form, I have selected Lendingy. So now as soon as a new response will be received over this Lendingy form, a thank you email will be sent to the website form leads. So for integrating these both applications, that is Lendingy and SendGrid, I have used Pabbly Connect. So you can also use Pabbly Connect for enhancing your business to reduce your manual workload. So here I am going to show you how you can create this automation from scratch, but before that I am going to show you the real working demo of this automation. So for that, let's move on to my Lendingy form. So here you can see this is my form. So here I am going to fill this form and afterwards we will be checking that whether we are receiving an email or not. So now let's fill this form over here. So here you can see I have filled this form providing the name as smart user, email as smartuser@pabblitudes.com and the phone number. Now we simply have to submit this form. And here you can see our form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to my Gmail account to check whether we are receiving an email over there or not. So here you can see this is my Gmail account and here I am going to just go to my inbox and here you can see I am receiving an email with the same name which I have recently entered over my form. And here you can see we are receiving a well-structured email. So you can also use Pabbly Connect for automating your work. So for accessing the Pabbly Connect, you just have to type its URL over the new tab, that is pabbly.com/connect, and once you will enter the URL, you will be getting the landing page of Pabbly, and here you can see we are getting two options, that is sign in and sign up free. So if you are a new user, you can simply click over the sign up free, but if you are an existing user, you can simply click over the sign in. But if you sign up your account for free over the Pabbly Connect, you get 100 free tasks every month for practicing Pabbly Connect. So now let's move on further, but before that I am going to tell you about Pabbly Community. So here you can see this is the page of Pabbly Community where automation users, marketers and business owners gather to share their ideas, ask questions and get relevant update regarding using the Pabbly applications. So you can also join Pabbly Community now and grow your business with us. And if you wish to join the Pabbly Community, you can find link in the description given below. Now let's move on to the Pabbly Connect again, and here I am going to simply click over the sign in. As I already have an account on Pabbly Connect, and as you finish your sign up, you will be getting this all Pabbly apps page. And here you can see these are the products provided by Pabbly, and as we are going to integrate two applications, we will be using Pabbly Connect. Now for accessing the Pabbly Connect, we just have to click over this access now button and we will be landed to the dashboard page of Pabbly Connect. So right before you on my screen, you can see this is the dashboard page of Pabbly Connect. And on this dashboard page, you can see these are the folders I have created. So you can also create your own folder by just clicking on this create a new folder button and your folder will be created. But here I am going to create a workflow by integrating two applications, that is Lendingy and SendGrid. So for that, we simply have to click over this create workflow button and you will be getting an option for selecting the workflow builder. So here you can see we are getting two workflow builder, that is Beta, which is modern, faster and more flexible, and another workflow builder we are getting is Classic, which will provide you stable and familiar approach. So here I am going to use this newly launched workflow builder Beta. So for that, we simply have to click over this select button and you will be getting the dialog box where you have to provide a name to your workflow. So now let's provide a name to our workflow here. So here I am providing it the name send thank you email using SendGrid for website form leads, and afterwards we are getting the option for selecting the folder. So from here I am going to select the folder, that is connect folder. So now let's select it and afterwards I am going to simply click over this create button, and here you can see we are getting this pop-up which says workflow created successfully, and we are landed to a workflow page. So on this page you can see we are getting the option for adding the trigger. So now you might be thinking, what is this trigger? So trigger is our first application or the application which is going to initiate our workflow. So in this case, I want to initiate my workflow as soon as I receive a new form submission over the landing key. So for that, I'm going to simply click over this add trigger button and you will be getting this trigger setup page. And on this page, I'm going to search for the landing key, which is going to be my trigger app. So here I'm going to select this app, and afterwards it is asking me to select the app event. So here I'm going to select this app event, that is new lead from landing page. Now afterwards we simply have to click over this connect button, and here you can see we are getting this webhook URL, and these are the steps for pasting this webhook URL to the landing key accounts. But here I'm going to show you the real demo of these steps. So for that, let's copy this webhook URL, and now let's move on to my landing key account. So here you can see this is the dashboard page of my landing key account, and here I'm getting this page that is PAB SNS. So here I'm going to simply click over this edit button, and afterwards we will be landed to a page. And here on this landing page, I am going to scroll, and here you can see this is the form I have created. So in this form, you just have to select one field, and you will be getting this option for the settings. So you just have to select it, and we will be landed to the form settings page. And on this settings page, you can see we are getting the option for integration. So you just have to select it, and here you just have to search for the webhook. And once you search for the webhook, you can see I'm getting this webhook app. So firstly, you have to install this app, and afterwards you just have to click it, and we will be landed to this webhook page. So you just have to paste the webhook URL which we have received from the Pabbly Connect here on the request URL. So now let's paste our webhook URL. So here I have pasted it, and afterwards we are getting the option for request method. So here I am going to keep it as the same, that is post. So here we have successfully pasted our webhook URL. Now we simply have to click over the save button, and afterwards again you have to click over the save and close, and afterwards you just have to click over the save button for saving the webhook. And now as our webhook has been saved, we just have to publish this form. So for that, you simply have to click over this publish button, and afterwards I am going to simply click over this publish anyway, and here my form has been publishing. Now my form has been successfully published, and here you can see we are getting the link of the form. So now let's copy this link and paste it over the new tab. So here I have pasted the link of my form. Now let's move on to the Pabbly Connect again and check whether it's waiting for the webhook response or not. And here you can see it is waiting for the webhook response. Now for providing the webhook response, we have to do a test submission. Now for doing the test submission, you have to fill the form which we have recently added with this webhook URL. So here I have landed to my form. Now let's scroll down, and here you can see I'm getting these fields. So now let's fill this form. So here you can see I have entered these details, providing the name as demo user, email as demoUser@pabblytudes.com, and the phone number. Now we simply have to click over this submit button for submitting our form, and here you can see our form has been successfully submitted. Now let's move on to the Pabbly Connect and check whether we have received the response or not. And here you can see we are successfully receiving the response, that is response A, with the same detail which we have recently filled over the form, that is name is demo user, email is demoUser@pabblytudes.com, and the phone number. So here we are done with the trigger setup. Now we just have to set up our action app. So for that, you simply have to click over this add new action step button, and you will be getting the action setup page. And in this case, we are going to select our action app as SendGrid. So now let's type SendGrid over here. And here you can see I'm getting this app that is SendGrid. So now let's select it, and afterwards I'm going to select my app event. So as I want to send an email, so I will be selecting my app event as send an email. So here I'm getting this app event, so I'm going to select it, and afterwards we have to build the connection. For that, we simply have to click over this connect button, and here we are landed to the SendGrid connection page. So if you already have an existing connection, you can simply use this, that is select existing connection, and if you want to build a new connection, you can select add new connection over here. And here we are getting our connection name, and afterwards we are getting the option for entering the API keys. So here you can see in the help desk we are getting the process of getting this token. So for that, you just have to go to the settings, and afterwards you just have to go to API keys, and afterwards we have to click over this create API key, and here we have to choose the full access and click on create. So now let's follow these steps and create our API token. So now let's move on to my SendGrid account. So here I am landed to my SendGrid account, and on the sidebar you can see we are getting the option for settings. So just select it, and here you can see on the settings we are getting the option for API keys. So let's select it, and here you can see I am getting some of the API's keys. So for creating our own API key, we simply have to click over this create API key button, and here we have to provide our API key name. So now let's provide API key name over here. So here I am providing it the name Landingy Leads Key, and afterwards we simply have to allow the full access, and here we have to click over this create and view, and here you can see our API key has been created. Now we simply have to copy this API key and paste it over the Pabbly Connect. So here I am going to paste my API token. Now we simply have to click over the save button for saving this connection, and here you can see our connection has been successfully built, and here we are getting some of the fields. So here I am going to map these fields. Now you might be thinking, what is this mapping? So mapping is basically inserting the data from the previous step. So in this case our previous step is Landingy. So here I am going to map the responses received from the Landingy form, and mapping makes the field dynamic, means you don't have to enter your data again and again. The fields will be replaced as the new responses will be arrived. So here I am going to map my send to email. So here I am going to enter the email address of the person to whom I want to send the email. So here I am going to map it from the response which I have received from the Landingy form. So here I am going to map this email address, that is demouser@pabblitudes.com. So here I have mapped the email address, and afterwards it is asking me to enter the subject. So here I am going to enter my subject manually, and that subject will be static, means it is not going to change with every new response. So here I have entered the subject of my email, that is thank you for reaching out to us, and afterwards it is asking me to enter my from email address. So for getting this from email address, now let's move on to my SendGrid account again. So on my SendGrid account you can see we are getting the option for marketing. So you just have to select it, and afterwards you can see we are getting the option for senders. So you just have to select it, and we will be landed to the page where we can get our email addresses. So here you can see I am getting this from email address, that is admin@pabblitudes.com. So here I am going to copy this, and afterwards I am going to paste it over here. So here I have pasted the from email address, and afterwards it is asking me to enter my from name. Now let's say I'm going to enter my from name as Pabbly, and here we are getting a field that is reply to email. So here I am going to select the same which I have filled over the form. So now let's select the email address again, and here again we are getting the field that is content type plain text. So if you want to provide the HTML text, you can also select HTML, and afterwards we are getting the option for entering the content value. So here I am going to enter the content of my email. So here you can see I have entered the content of my email, and after this word hi I am going to map the name of my lead. So for that again I am going to select this Landingy response, and from here I am going to map the name of my lead. So here I have mapped the name of my lead. Now this name field will be replaced with every new response. So here we are done with this, and afterwards we simply have to click over the save and send test request, and here you can see we are receiving the response and the application has processed our request. Now let's move on to my Gmail account to check whether we are receiving an email over there or not. So for that let's move on to my account over here. And in my account you can see I'm successfully receiving the email that is for the demo user, which is the name which we have recently filled over the form. So this is the way you can create an automation for enhancing your business by just using Pabbly Connect. So start using Pabbly Connect and stay tuned to our YouTube channel for learning more about Pabbly and creating many more amazing automations like this. And if you like this video, please like, share and subscribe our channel. And if you want to practice this workflow, you can find its link in the description given below. So thank you for watching this video. Not only this automation, you can build many more integrations like this by just using Pabbly Connect. So if you have any doubt, you can mail us at support@pabbly.com, and if you have any queries, you can post it over the forums.pabbly.com. And if you have any pricing related issue, then you can visit the URL given over here. So start using Pabbly Connect for free now.